This illustration deals with GFCI protection for personnel in a Category 2 area, which is, general care. And Category 1 is critical care spaces. But the critical care areas, the critical designation has been placed so that it's either general care or critical care areas. Now, notice all this takes place in NEC 517.21 where this information can be obtained. Now, the purpose of a change, of revision has been accepted. And this revision to this section has made it very clear to clarify and differentiate the GFCI protection requirements for patient bed locations equipped with sinks or basins, and the GFCI protection requirements for patient bathrooms and toilet rooms beyond the patient bed location, but still within the overall patient room. A new informational note was also added to reflect the use of UL 943, and of course that's clauses, or clause 8.1.2, plus the Annex E restriction mandated by UL, or say United States, US CPSC for health care. Now, say Canada. And consequently, by the UL and CSA standard, do not install GFCIs on circuits that power life-supported equipment. So this is kind of the purpose of the change. Now, if you review the GFCI protection requirement to that receptacle in the bathroom, that's the call out. To the left of the illustration, you have your bathroom, then you have that receptacle. GFCI protection required, as outlined in 517.21. Now, if you wanted to have, say, a grounding reference point that you see in the illustration beside the bed number 2 to the left of bed number 1, which is to the right, then notice the call out with the arrow drawn to it says reference grounding point as close as possible, as outlined in 517.19D as in dog, informational note. And then right next to the reference grounding point, you pick up the grounding point if installed by 517.19C as in car. And directly from that, you see the bonding type jumper or equipment grounding conductor there. That's a number 10 AWG or larger equipment grounding conductor. Again, that's outlined in 517.19D as in dog. And then, of course, you see the portable equipment that's card and plug connected into the reference grounding point. Now, years ago, the metal studs that were framing members, windows, doors, and all that, we would take a number 8 solid conductor and we'd lay it across and bond and ground all that in and ground it in so that it was more of an equal potential plane of the grounding. But now those rules have changed. You have a patient care area, like for that bed, for instance, out 6 foot horizontally from it, I think is a classified area for that bedroom, for that bed area and patient area. And then if you have anything over 7.5 foot above it, then you look and see if you need redundant grounding or not. But when we design or install these wiring methods for a hospital, you've got to make sure you see what is general care area category 2 or critical area Category 1, and your wiring methods and procedures, naturally are going to change there a little bit. Now, I would like to give you one reminder. Look at the also call out that's right located at the right of the illustration, close to the door entering into the patient care area. It tells you also see UL 943 for GFCI protection, A.E and 110.3B for installation in accordance with the manufacturer's rules, and NFPA 99 6.3.2.2 item 5 uppercase A. Now, we should review these sections to understand that GFCI receptacle does have to be installed by the manufacturer's requirements. And then I think it's in about 110.6D as in dog of 70E. If you are reviewing these GFCI protected receptacles and applying safety-related rules, then you look at 110.6A through D as in dog, and you find that they usually about every month you have to test them for their reliability, that they're dependable, that people use them are indeed still protected by GFCI systems. So we would kind of make sure that we would review that and look at it. Now next, let's take a look at the notes. And note 1 says where toilet rooms are present, GFCI protection is indeed required as outlined in 517.16. Note 2 again talks about GFCI. And it says GFCI is not required in category 2 and 1 where a basin, sink, or similar plumbing fixture is present in the bedroom, right? In other words, you do not have a bathroom, but this sink is there for certain types of use. It's not required to be GFCI protected, so make sure that you understand that note and then understand where the GFCI protection is required. Then notice 517.19 D as in dog deals with your jacks where you could ground out certain equipment enclosures where today they're more connected and grounded into the receptacle. And that's because of the modern technology of equipment that's designed today. And they've just learned more about, grounding and bonding of equipment that is used on for patients for different reasons.